Hello and welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. Today I've got a few special guests. We'll start with Jordan Breyerton. Welcome.
Good as.
Your mic didn't work there, but we'll move on. Next, we've got Lachie returning for the preview.
How are we, lads?
Yeah, not
Good,
bad.
my mic's working now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah.
And finally, we're joined as always by Sharpie.
Yeah, it's me.
And I've forgotten to introduce myself again, so...
Yep. 2 weeks. Let's just make that a thing where you just don't introduce yourself.
Yep.
Irrelevant.
That's the new catchphrase. Anyway, this week's the NFL preview. So we've got the professional, the man himself, Bread. We'll go to him first for the postseason prediction. We'll start in the NFC. What do you have?
Yeah, so look, we'll go through each division. I'll start with the NFC North because it's got my team, the Packers, in there. So I think the Packers will win the North. Not much competition in there. I think like they've only really got Minnesota, but I'm not sold on Minnesota. But to start with the Packers, I think hopefully they improve in a front office point of view. Like hopefully Gutekunst actually listens to Rodgers this year. Hopefully now they've had that conversation, Rodgers can have some say in what actually goes on with the organization rather than just leaving him out in the lurch. I think that's the main thing for this year. And it's going to keep him happy with the possibility of keeping him for next year, hopefully. I think the offense is going to dominate again. They've got weapons like Devontae Adams, best wide receiver in the league, in my opinion. Other weapons like Alan Lazard, MVS, Amari Rodgers coming out of Clemson. I'm excited to see him. Also, Randall Cobb back. I'm excited to see him and his combination with Rodgers, see if they're still great. Tonyan could be the best receiving tight end of the league if Rodgers stays hot. AJ Dillon, I think, is going to play a massive part in this season late, I think, where you got a big body back just playing through. I think he's going to be great. The O-line's going to be a problem. Replacing Lindsley with Josh Meyer could be okay. Bakhtiari out for the first 6 weeks really hurts. So, but once he comes back, look, it's all about the end of the season. I think if the Packers are there, they could be okay towards the end of the season on offense. I think
he's not biased at all, is he, the man?
No. The defense is going to be interesting though. That's where I think we struggle. Defense, like Jai Alexander.
The last 3 years, mate.
Yeah, we have. But Jai Alexander stepped out last year. He was one of the best, if not the best corner in the league. Kevin King's okay. Chandler Sullivan's good in the secondary as well. And we're excited to see Eric Stokes play at corner as well from Georgia. So look, I'm keen for that. And I'm really, really keen to see what we can do with Joe Barry after Petton's gone as well.
What about the quarterback you picked last year? What's going on with him?
Jordan Love. Jordan Love's just going to sit behind Aaron, and then hopefully he peters out after 3 or 4 years, and then we move him on. Look, no Love lost against Jordan, pardon the pun, but I think that I'd rather keep Aaron for 4 to 5 years and rather move him on if he's talented enough and get an opportunity somewhere else.
And it's a bit similar to Jimmy Garoppolo in a way, isn't it? Is it not?
Yeah, very similar. Exact same situation, I think's what happened there. But look what happened with the Patriots. They trusted Tom. Well, in a way, yeah. You think the front office trusted Tom, and that's the different situation. The front office doesn't trust Aaron.
How could you not though? That's just makes absolutely no sense to me. But
anyway. It's just Green Bay. They just want everyone to go through that. So
yeah, I loved his interview that he did a couple of weeks ago when he came out and spoke about it. It was so good to listen to.
Yeah.
Look, I can't see anyone getting close to Green Bay either. Obviously Chicago, their defense is good. How good is their offense going to be with Justin Fields? Like, you really don't know, and with rookies especially like him, until they actually get into the season to see how good he's actually going to be. They know he's got all the weapons there,
and they're starting Dalton too. So they're going to start with Dalton. And then how many games is that going to take? Or it'll be 2 or 3 weeks, and then Chicago fans being Chicago fans, they're going to call for his head, and then Fields is going to come through.
Fields is going to come in, and it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm the same as you, mate, with Minnesota. you just can't trust them. And obviously Detroit, Jared Goff going there, going to be very interesting to see how they go.
Be lucky to win a couple of games.
I can't see anyone getting anywhere near Green Bay in the NFC North. So it's theirs to lose. I think they're going to go through and be pretty strong this year, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the jury's still out on the defense. I reckon that's obviously they got all the weapons on the offensive side, but the defensive side's going to be if they want to go anywhere, I reckon they're going to have to pull something out there. So
Sharpie?
Yeah.
I think he agrees.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good both people there.
Brad, your thoughts on, is it Matt LaFleur, the
coach?
His decision making?
Love LaFleur. The only one problem he's probably had in his decision making is going for the field goal rather than going for a touchdown late in the NFC Championship game. Other than that, that's his only fault I see as an offensive play caller. He does usually takes risks. He trusts in his quarterback and what his quarterback sees. And if your quarterback's Aaron Rodgers, why wouldn't you trust him? So
yeah.
I think he's got that good balance of, I think, third year in the system now. They've got that good balance of, okay, I trust what my quarterback sees. If he thinks this is in the best state of the situation, I'll let him go. And I'm excited to see what happens in year 3 of this system.
Now, I'm putting this to you early. Do Green Bay come out with the best record in the NFC?
No for mine. I think Tampa's got an easier schedule.
Yeah.
Tampa's got an easier schedule. I think the Packers are prone to lose a couple games that they shouldn't. Tampa, in Tom's previous seasons, I know it was probably a Belichick thing, but they always started off slow. I can't see BA starting off slow in Tampa. And with who they've got, they're going to be unstoppable.
Especially with the preseason now. You'd think that the first few games, they're not going to have the slump that they had last year. I think they had a few games where they just didn't really click.
Yeah, but it was always going to happen with Tom, obviously going there and new team, he's got another preseason under his belt now. It's going to be scary, honestly.
And it was really ridiculous, like, to think how they ended up that season. And then you think they started off slow. It was in a BA system, and BA system is so complex. Like, you've got the read, the hot routes at the line of scrimmage, and Tom wasn't used to that. And now they've got that perfect mix of BA and Tom system. That and all starting 22 on the roster is back from the Super Bowl. That's just scary. Crazy,
very scary.
Yeah.
Because last year I think he had back-to-back games though where he threw pick sixes. You won't be seeing that happen.
But that was because it was a full BA system, I think, early, and Tom just got the wrong read on the hot route. And so with BA system, what I understand of it is that the route they call in the huddle isn't necessarily the route the receivers run. And Tom was still expecting that receiver to run, say, a vertical route. I know there was one he had early with Mike Evans against New Orleans where he expected him to run a vertical, and Evans cut across the middle on a slant, and Tom just overthrew and threw it straight to the cornerback, and everyone thought that just looks horrible, but he just read the wrong thing.
Well, as always, he had the last laugh.
Yeah.
Well, let's stick with that division, shall we?
The South, no one's going to come close to Tampa, to be honest. Like, I think
that hurts, but yes, I agree.
Yes, it's going to be interesting. I think the South is a lot stronger than what people are thinking, though. Like, I think New Orleans are gonna drop, though. That is my opinion. Sorry, Sharpie. I know you're a Saints fan, but
I've already come to a conclusion that we're going to suck.
Yeah, I think though Winston as a starter, like, he's got the talent there, and I just don't know what they can do with that offense. They're going to be leaning on Kamara heavily, and then
especially with no Michael Thomas as well.
Yeah, Thomas out for 6 weeks, and then is he going to come back? I don't know, because there's a lot of talk about him being a diva within that locker room and wanting all the targets. And now that the offense hasn't got Breeze, and he wants to be lent on heavily, and Sean Payton wants to open it up.
I was going to say it'll be interesting because he's still like they've still got a damn good coach out there, but
yeah,
it's because like that season that in the last season that Jameis had at the Bucks, like what did he throw the most touchdowns but the most picks as well, like
30 and 30 he went.
Yeah, like he's obviously got the ability, but it's just minimizing those, like bringing the gap down from his best and his worst to make that something a bit smaller. And like he's definitely going to have the weapons there to be able to, because we know Kamara's an absolute jet, but it's just going to be minimizing those turnovers and seeing what they can do from there. And obviously they've got a fairly strong defense too, I think. But
they lost a lot of players. So like just bringing that up about the defense, they've lost Hendrickson, Brown, Quan Alexander, and Janoris Jenkins. So 4 key pieces out of that defense they've lost.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on them to see how much they do drop.
Well, I've actually got the Panthers could sneak into second place in that division. And if you want to talk about them,
I'd like that to happen.
Yeah,
hope that McCaffrey stays healthy.
Yeah,
if he does, like he obviously have a massive impact on how the game how the year goes with everything like that.
I like that. I think Robbie Anderson having also a relationship with Darnold already from their Jets times, I think makes a massive difference to how Sam fits in that offense. And then if he fits in with CMC, like they can just use him, and I think he's going to be great. CMC to help Darnold out in that way is what I'm meaning. He's just going to be great for Darnold. And then also, I think Jeremy Chin's going to be elite on that defense. Like, see his rookie season, he's just phenomenal. A hybrid piece. He's a safety and he's a backer. So,
not worth talking about the Falcons.
Fingers crossed.
Look, I think Kyle Pitts is worth talking about. I don't know too much about him though. Arthur Smith, I don't know too much about him coming in as head coach. So, I'm not too sure about them. I've got them sitting last in the division, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, I'll let Lachie know that your video is gone for some reason.
Podcast's gotten better.
Yeah. We'll move on to the NFC West. I'm interested to see how Stafford goes with the Rams. What's everyone's thoughts on that?
I've got the Rams winning the West, but I've got the West as the best division in the NFL this year. I think that division is absolutely stacked. I think Stafford with Sean McVay is just a massive tick. That is just a massive tick, and they're going to be very hard to stop on offense. Like, you think he's got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Deshaun Jackson on that as his receiving core. Higbee's an underrated tight end. I like Higbee. And the O-line, although it has struggled in the past couple of years, hasn't been that O-line of when they made the Super Bowl and they had Todd Gurley at running back. But I think that O-line's good enough to help with the running backs they've got. Although Akers is out, Henderson and Michelle will be good enough to rush decently. And then the defense, what more we can say? It's led by Aaron Donald. So
don't need to say anything.
Yeah. I think they win the West. Not easily, just because
mate, you can
how stacked that division is. But I think they win it.
Yeah. God, I don't think this. I think the 49ers don't have a chance. I think they're the only ones that can't.
I've got them at 2 for me. I think. Well,
I
like both Jimmy G. I think the only one, like Seattle, just because they've got Russ is still in the hunt, but I've even got them sitting in my predictions at 4, but a 4th place 10-7 team. So fourth place 10-7 team in that division.
Yeah.
So
it's an insane conference.
I think they've lost too much, and then Arizona's going to step up again. You think Murray's going to
Kyler Murray's just going
to improve. Still got D-Hop on that offense. That second year in that relationship, they're going to improve. And then adding JJ Watt to not only that defense, just to that side is just going to improve that leadership skills. And I think they needed a leader like that if Barry Fitz isn't going to come back as well. They needed that spiritual leader, which he's just doesn't matter if he hasn't been with the team. He's just going to fit straight into that.
Yeah, he's just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's his only thing.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy, he could challenge Aaron Donald for Defensive Player of the Year in my mind. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well, I definitely think that.
Look, I think it's pretty obvious the Rams are gonna. I feel like the Rams are gonna come out on top with Stafford.
I wouldn't say obvious.
I wouldn't say, but I feel like it's gonna be Rams and Seahawks top two.
Yeah.
I really like Russell Wilson, especially because he gave Brady another ring. So,
here we go.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a Tampa Bay supporter.
Yeah.
Well, where is he now? I don't even know where he is, but
it doesn't matter. He's won a Super Bowl of you.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do. So
exactly right.
He didn't win himself a Super Bowl. He won Tom Brady another one. So that's what matters.
Tell you what, this next division is going to be interesting.
The NFC least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
The Washington Football Club. I think that's the only one that's going to...
Football team.
Oh, team.
That's how much we care about it.
Yeah, no, I think I still think it's going to be competitive at the top with Washington and Dallas, but it all depends on how Dak fits back in after his injury last year. For me, I think the O-line's healthier.
And Saquon too.
Yes, that's true. Saquon. Yeah, I don't know if they've got the talent at New York to compete in that division. Like you look at the talent that Washington's got on defense, led by Chase Young.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable on defense, and then you put Fitzmagic in a quarterback, and he literally his last couple of teams he has always found a way to get the best out of them. So I think
the Rainbow Man
with him at quarterback, he's going to compete for the division. And look, I think Dak could be okay because that O-line in Dallas is healthier. The defense is strong. Micah Parsons, excited to see him paired up with Leighton Vander Esch at linebacker. So Dallas, I think Dallas are going to be Dallas. They're going to lose games that they're not expected to, that they're expected to win, and then they're going to win games that they're expected to lose. So I think it's going to be them two competing, but I think the winner of that division is going to be at 9-8.
Yeah, I think it's just Washington. I don't think Cowboys aren't going to do much, I don't think. Do you think Newton's going to go there? Can the Cowboys give him a call?
In my opinion, if Newton goes anywhere, I have a feeling it's going to be Houston. Just think Tyrod Taylor's probably... Deshaun's not going to play anyway, I don't think, with all the allegations, and the NFL won't let him play anyway. They let him on the roster, which I'm surprised about so far with the NFL's usual policy.
Up to the Saints, please.
Yeah, you never know. He could go there. Just in the next couple of weeks, you never know what happens. I think all depends on at Houston how Tyrod Taylor goes. But Houston, for me, I've got them winning one game.
I forgot. I didn't even realize that Tyrod Taylor was still a thing until he got named at the start of the other day. I was like, I didn't even know he still existed.
Most unlucky.
I know it might sound really bad, but I did not even know he still existed.
Well, poor guy last year, if he didn't get buddy punctured in the lung, really, by a jab.
I did not know that.
A jab that was meant to help him. He had broken ribs and 5 games in, and then they go to put a shot in him. I can't remember what it was. It was like cortisone, and the doctor punctured his lung from that, and then all of a sudden you bring in what's the quarterback? I've had a blank now.
Who's this for?
For the Chargers. I love him. What's his name?
I can't help you.
Brad's thinking. Let's go to
not Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Justin. Right. I cannot. I don't know why I had a blank, but Justin Herbert come in his first game against the Chiefs and almost won him the game against the Chiefs. So that is
wasn't it? It was the Chargers that were on. Was it Hard Knocks last year?
It was both LA teams. I
remember watching a little bit of that.
Yeah,
and seeing a few things. unreal to watch. But I forgot that it was actually Tyrod Taylor on that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He was.
Imagine that.
He actually
got a punctured lung from your doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. And
surely
broken
that dog's
ribs.
still not there.
No, he's gone. He was gone that next week. So
He would have to be.
We'll get through these ones quickly. The next three teams to make the playoffs in the NFC. Who have you got?
So for me, NFC, I've got Tampa at 16-1, first seed. Green Bay. Yeah, I can only see them dropping a game, and it'll be a game that they're not expected to drop. That's just offense is stacked.
Against the Patriots.
I've got the Packers and the Rams fighting out for 2 and 3, both at either 12-5, 13-4. Dallas at 4 for me at 9 and 8. And the next three teams, I've got San Francisco sitting at 5, and then Arizona at 6. I think that West is just so dominant that that two of them teams have got to make it in. So, and then I've got
because when you look at the rest of the NFC, it's not
that strong. It's very top heavy, and I think 7th seed will be 40 up for either one of the NFC West teams that are left, and the Vikings. I think the Vikings got a talented enough roster to get to a wild card spot, but not to win the division.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. The only other one that I'd keep an eye out for is Chicago as well, depending on how things go out there.
Just with that defense, like their defense is still talented enough.
Andy Dalton's still obviously a good quarterback, but I'm just not sure what else they've got to obviously complement him, and I'm not sure what their schedule looks like either. To be able to get there. So and obviously Dallas too, but it's still just going to depend on Dak and how he goes, coming off a pretty gruesome, ugly looking injury. So the NFC is not. I think it's pretty well set nearly.
I think that
Smokies, whereas the AFC is obviously a
lot
more open, which I'm sure the great man will get into.
Yeah, I have basically similar to what Brad said, except I have the Vikings in there, and I had Washington in there. So
So just Washington and Dallas.
I've Packers at 3 because I don't want Brad to be happy.
Oh, okay, no worries.
I won't lie, I'm stressing out a little bit because it says there's 8 minutes left in the meeting. This has never happened before. So
it'll just run over. It's all
if it runs over, if it resets, we'll figure something out.
Sharpie got up on Twister Fury the other day anyway, Brazzy. You can flick you some money for it.
Yeah, true. All right,
we should give the boys a bit of a shout out for that at some stage too.
We'll do that at the horsy tips. We'll do that at the horsy tips. Yeah,
exactly. But while we're here, I always want to make an announcement that the double is back at KFC. The original double is here. Juicy original recipe fillet with barbecue sauce, a slice of bacon and cheese. Not everywhere and not forever. Thank you, and shout out to Jack Lear for the plug there.
We are we're not sponsored by KFC, but
we are now.
I'm sure they'll appreciate the shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's gold.
We'll try and get through this conference a bit quicker, I reckon. Although it might be hard, but we'll go to the AFC.
You reckon?
Look, we'll go AFC North.
Are you going to do the horsey tips now, or
no? We'll do that after the NFL. We'll do that before.
Sorry. Yeah. Where are you starting with, Brad?
I'll go the North, and I think the North is pretty competitive, but I've got Cleveland winning that. I think Kevin Stefanski's going to be good in year 2. I think Baker's just going to grow in his system this year, and Landry and the Beckham combination with Beckham coming back off the ACL is going to be hard to stop. And then their defense is improved by Jadavion and Clowney. Baltimore drops a bit, I think, with J.K. Dobbins out. They're going to be hurt. I don't know if they can hold up without him. And look, they've lost a couple. They've lost Judon and Ngakwe on defense. So I just can't see them winning it. I think Pittsburgh going to be good again. I think they're good enough to be a wild card team, but Ben's aging, can't get the ball down the field. So I've got Cleveland winning that for me.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. definitely agree with that. Joe Burrow coming back too. Should be good, hopefully. Is he starting week 1? Is he being...
I haven't seen anything on it, but
Yeah.
I'd assume so. I think his ACL usually, like most of the time in the NFL, it's 9 months, not like here in AFL footy where it's suggested 12 months because quarterbacks can just sit in the pocket. There's not too much lateral movement unless they get pushed out of the pocket. So I think he should be starting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I was just more depending on what the injury, where he's come across with the injury and stuff like that, because obviously he's absolute gun. But yeah, that division's pretty stacked too. Not going to lie. Like last year, they were like Pittsburgh won that at 12-4, and then Baltimore and Cleveland were 11-5. Like it's a pretty stacked division. So it's going to be like Cincinnati were 4-11 with Joe Burrow out. So that obviously hurts the cause a little bit. So
while we're in that division, I want to get Brad your take on I think it was Stephen A. Smith this morning saying Lamar Jackson isn't a top quarterback if he can't pass the ball at an elite level. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think he can. He can pass the ball to the elite level. It's more their system that they run out of him where he plays that college read style still, where he can change the play at the line of scrimmage. And then with the backfield they've had, it's going to be interesting this year without Dobbins to see if he can hold up in the pass game, because I think he's been an elite passer off not many passing attempts, if you can say that, where he's going to be lent on more heavily in pass attempts, I think, this year without Dobbins. So, yeah, I think it's all going to be interesting to see how they hold up without JK.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on to the next division. We'll go to the AFC West. I'll take a bit of control off your hands here, Brad.
Yeah,
might be out of order
He's
for
finally
you.
stepping up to the plate tonight. Yes.
I'm going to let him go first anyway.
It's not the Patriots either. It's not the Patriots division.
I think he's leaving that for last, isn't he?
Has to be.
Maybe.
Who have you got winning this, Ollie?
Oh, well, I mean, is it really an argument? It's probably going to be the team with the second best record behind the Patriots.
Okay.
No, so that, obviously the Chiefs are going to win. I like watching the Raiders, surprisingly, last season. I've never been a big fan of them.
Raiders got a good offense.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of them, mainly because everyone that didn't watch sports wore their caps and wore their shirts and everything. But I actually enjoyed watching them, and in their new stadium, it was their new stadium, wasn't it? Trying to make sure. Yeah. It was sick to watch. Obviously didn't have many fans, but it would be good to watch them. And Chargers without Phil Rivers, that would be interesting to see. It's just
they didn't have Phil Rivers last year.
Shows how much I pay attention to that. He went to
Indianapolis
last year. That shows how much I paid attention to them.
No, I think the Chargers. I've got the Chargers sitting at 2 in this division. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to win it. There's no doubt about that. I've got the Chargers sitting at 2. I think Justin Herbert, who I couldn't remember his name before, is going to be great in year 2. I think Brandon Staley coming over as head coach. He's meant to be labelled as a quarterback, as a defensive coordinator, so he can read the defense as a quarterback and can tell you what they're going to do. So I think he's going to be really exciting. All their weapons are elite, I think. And then their O-line's been upgraded with Corey Linsley coming over from the Packers, which I was really sad to see him go. But I think their O-line's been really upgraded. And at DB, they've got elite DBs. Joey Bosa is nigh unstoppable. I just think they're going to be hard to beat in that division, although they've got the Chiefs. Hard to beat it too, but I think Raiders are going to be there as well. Denver's going to struggle, I think, but I think the Raiders have been improved. They've got Ngakoue, Quentin Jefferson and Solomon Thomas to improve that defense, where their defense was horrible last year. I think their offense performed well last year. It was just their defense was a question. So they'll compete for 2, but I think that all around the Chargers got a better roster all around.
Yeah.
And I see Lockie's just put on the hat just to
Yeah,
annoy
I just
me.
had to go get me Raiders hat after that comment, Ollie. Just had to go and show it off for you there, mate. Yeah, no, I think I definitely agree with all that. I still think I reckon the Chargers will make it. I reckon the Chargers nearly make the biggest jump this year.
That's who I've got
teams.
too.
I know that's probably it could be a big call, but considering like Jacksonville, obviously we'll talk about them in a sec. That they were obviously 1-15 and bringing in Trevor Lawrence, and that could obviously 1-15 jump into whatever they could finish up with could be a big jump. But in terms of the Chargers were 7-9 last year, and they could, who knows what they could do. So I'll put them out that I reckon they're going to finish. I think they'll finish above the Raiders.
Yeah, I've got that too. I've got that too.
Yeah, I haven't. I need to look into the schedule a little bit more, but I feel like they'll make a pretty big jump this year. But obviously Kansas will. No one to get near them in that division, let alone the AFC in general. Because they're just on another level. I think it'll be the same two teams unless something drastically goes wrong with Kansas and the Bucks this year. So that's my pick anyway.
Any further thoughts on that division? Anyone? Is that it? Sharpie?
Go Jameis Winston, Sharpie.
Yeah, I prefer not to talk about James Winston.
Sharpie's had to leave us. We'll move on to the AFC South. So, Bread, let you go.
I've got Tennessee winning this. I think Tennessee is probably the best team, well-rounded team in that division. I think Tannehill's gonna keep improving. Henry's just elite. AJ Brown's elite and only improved by Julio Jones. And signing Bud Dupree on that defense will improve it a heap. And then I think Indianapolis gets in it too. I think Carson Wentz is going to improve that team. Although they did have Phil Rivers last year, but I think Carson Wentz is going to be a step up. Jacksonville's going to be really interesting to see what Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence can do. Just not sure about them, but it's just going to be interesting. I've got them at 3, and then I've got Houston Texans going to struggle. Tyrod Taylor there being the quarterback. I've got them going 0-17, possibly the first 0-17 team ever. Maybe lucky to win 1 or 2 games, I think.
I love it. Not gonna disagree either. Just quietly.
No. I think it is just the Titans to win. I do have the Colts. Yeah. I do have the Colts making it in there, but to be honest, it's a joy to watch Derrick Henry. That's all I have to say.
I was literally watching a video this morning that I think NFL put up of his stiff arm drills that he does at training. I don't know if you've seen it, Brad, but it's just the most basic. Oh, he's just an absolute machine.
He's basically Dusty Martin.
Yeah. Oh, literally. He actually is. In a way, he's can literally just win a game. Obviously, Dusty wins it off his own boot, but he could literally win you a game out of absolutely nowhere. He's just that strong and powerful. He can go inside, outside. He's an absolute freak. Absolute freak.
All right, we'll move on from that division because I don't think there's much else to talk about there. But we'll move on to my favorite division.
The Patriots. You just want to get to the Patriots.
The AFC
finishing last.
And I was about to ask, does anyone have them not making the top 2 in the division or even the playoffs? So
I have them making top 2 in the division and don't have them making playoffs.
Interesting. Okay, Lachie, what do you have? Do you have them?
What was that question again? Sorry.
Do you have them in the top 2 or not? And
in the division?
Yeah, in the division.
I
think the Dolphins are the only really close team. That'll be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting because obviously there's 2 rookie quarterbacks in that division, in Mac Jones and is it Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously the Jets are still going to struggle, even though they've got him. They're still really, really going to struggle. Look, I can definitely see the Patriots sneaking into the top 2 of that division, but I don't think they'll go much further than that, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Mac Jones is the future, though. You can see that he's.
Oh God, yeah. Some
he's
of the
what
throws
Bill
he was
wants.
making.
He's come from a Saban offense, so much similar to Bill's. A Bill system, I should say. And I think signing the 2 tight ends, so when they get healthy in Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, I think it's not going to be a Gronk Hernandez Brady 2 tight end system, but it's going to look somewhat similar, and it's going to be hard to stop. But I think it's going to be a couple years down the track before that gets really going.
Yeah, for sure. But
some
of the throws that he made in the preseason, you just look and you're like, wow, like he can really. There's a couple of really good rookie quarterbacks that have come into the league this year.
Yeah, especially
and like even now, like he's still like, I'd nearly still class like. Obviously, Joe Burrow's been in the system for over 18 months now, but like he only played what do you do? Like have like 4 or 5 games, and then so you nearly still class him as a rookie. Like there's still some absolute like young gun rookie quarterbacks, and there's 2 in that one division.
And especially in the AFC, there's a lot in the AFC. Like you think Mahomes is 25 still. You got Josh Allen's 25.
Allen, yeah.
Justin Herb's in the AFC.
How old is Tannehill?
Jackson.
Like he'd be 28.
Nah, Tannehill's 30 plus.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wasted a lot of years at the Dolphins.
Yeah, he stuck under that Adam Gase umbrella. So but he's done well.
You're not wrong.
Well, I have
obviously with Trevor Lawrence as well at Jacksonville. We didn't even mention him.
Yeah, well, that's
Jesus.
Number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. So.
Very interesting.
Well, I have the Patriots sneaking into the playoffs. I feel like watching Mac Jones, he's a lot better than Cam Newton. I didn't like watching him last season.
Oh, that really hurts.
I not like a prime. I just think now,
thanks.
I think Cam Newton, when he suffered from COVID last year, he took it out of him a fair bit. Obviously,
it's been more his shoulder, mate. Like his shoulder since he had the surgery on his shoulder, he just hasn't been the same. But
I think
he took too many hits early on in his career, and he's just hasn't recovered from that.
I think we're bringing back a few defenders that didn't play last year due to COVID. I think it was Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung, I think it is.
Yeah, you got
a couple of pretty small names.
Small names. I was just making sure I was getting the first name right. I know the last names, but and Cannon.
Oh, and you got Kyle Van Noy as well coming back from the Dolphins.
Oh, I knew he left, but
so he's gonna be exciting back in that defense because he's a leader as well.
I think that's why maybe we sneak into the playoffs. Is the defense is going to be a bit stronger than what it was, a fair bit stronger than what it was last season, and
sure,
push us over the top. But in saying that, the Bills are going to win the division.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty clear cut.
I've got the Bills winning quite easily.
Just curiosity.
It's going to depend on how your offense goes in keeping the ball and how much of a break your defense is able to get during the games and that too.
Just
obviously, if they're out there a lot of the time. No, all good.
I was just going to say, in curiosity, do you agree with Josh Allen being the 3rd best quarterback in the league going into this season, behind Mahomes and Rodgers?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a pretty broad question. Like most talented, yeah.
In terms of talent,
the best player going into the season is it is a broad statement, but
I agree with that. I think in terms of pure talent, the accuracy he's got with the deep ball is unbelievable. And I think it's been proven he can play in cold weathers as well. So I think obviously it helps playing college at Wyoming, but he's going to be pretty hard to stop up in Buffalo late in the year, I think.
Well, we'll move on just quickly. The Super Bowl matchup. What do you think of it? Is it going to be the same as last year?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you can go. There's obviously a couple of smokies there, which I think it looks like you're about to drop a bit of a bombshell here.
He wants his Packers.
I think the Packers, though, I think with the possibility of it being Aaron's last year, possibly in Green Bay, if the front office listens to him, he's going to be more motivated. I just think with what they've got well-rounded, I think they can win out in the playoffs. I don't think they'll finish first seed, like I said before, but I think if they can get they had that NFC Championship game last year. It was just mistakes. It was Kevin King biting on Scotty Miller on a 4th down. It was those mistakes. I think those mistakes have been rectified this year. I think the Packers have the team to get there, although biased opinion of mine. And also I have an upset. I think Buffalo get there in the AFC. I think although the Chiefs are going to have the best record, but I just think I really like what Josh Allen's doing. I think, although I do think the Chiefs most likely will get there, but I have a feeling about Buffalo this year. I just have a feeling about Green Bay Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
If it means the Patriots not making the playoffs for the Chiefs to get knocked off before the Super Bowl, I'll be more than happy. I just don't want to see Mahomes in the Super Bowl again.
Nah, I love to see the best players. And like last year's Super Bowl was just
that was unreal.
Having the best there.
Yeah. But it was even better because of Tom winning.
Yeah, look, he's just defying everything at the moment. He's just unreal. But obviously he's got a lot of pieces around him, which obviously helps. But I can't disagree with that though, Brad. Like I think there's Buffalo, like Cleveland could throw a spanner in the works.
I think the 4 division winners on their day, I think they can throw anyone out.
Yeah, 100%.
At any point. So I think Cleveland's got enough. Even I think the Chargers have got enough talent to pull a few surprises late in January. Don't think they can get all the way to Feb, but I think they can pull some surprises.
Yep, definitely.
All right, I'm just going to round off a few games this weekend, and we'll just get your tips for the games. Won't go into detail on them. So the first one tomorrow morning is Bucks Cowboys.
Bucks easy.
Bucks easy.
Bills Steelers.
Bills winning that.
Bills. That'll be a good game though.
Yeah,
that'll be a really good game.
Chiefs Browns.
Look, I've got the Chiefs a lot closer than what a lot of people think. I'll be 10 points or under. I have a feeling the Chiefs will get out to a start and Mahomes will do a Mahomes in the second half and just reel them in.
Yep.
So both Chiefs, is it?
Yep.
All right. So my Pats versus the Dolphins.
I think the Pats in Mac Jones's first game, I think they could win and they could. I wouldn't say easily, but I'll say it'll be comfortable. I think 2 scores.
Yeah. I reckon it'll be one score. It's going to depend on how Mac Jones goes and how well he settles into the game, I reckon.
All right. I've only put this game here because we have a Packers and sadly the Saints supporter left, but Packers versus Saints.
Packers by about 3 scores at least.
I don't think I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. Being in Jacksonville too, Packers have to travel, although in saying that, New Orleans is pretty affected at the moment with Ida and everything that's going on down there and them having to relocate. So you never know how that's going to affect them. It could make them gel together as a unit or... I just think Cam Jordan's going to be a factor in this game, especially with Bakhtiari out. So I think Packers have got enough talent to still win, but it'll be around 10 points.
All right. Not scared of Jameis Winston at all?
No, not really.
Not at all.
I think the Saints players are probably more scared of him.
Yeah.
Not at all. It's going to be interesting to see how they use Taysom Hill in that as well. Like, I think they'll just use him.
He's still going to be that Smith Army.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I still don't think he's a starter, which is no surprise that Jameis is starting. But it's going to be interesting to see how they use him still, I reckon.
Next game, Rams-Bears. This one's going to be close, I think. Just with the Bears defense, and in a way, I think it's going to be close because it's going to take Stafford a while to settle into that system. Yeah. I think first half could be a real slugfest where there's not much scoring going on at all. Could be a couple of field goals each at halftime, and then you wait till Stafford settles in. It's just going to be a fireworks show, I think, in that second half.
Yep. He's a very talented man.
I think the Rams get it done. Ravens and Raiders is the final one that I've got here.
This is probably, in my opinion, probably game of the week. I think not due to teams of talent, but I think they're very equal, both these sides.
Yeah. And you just don't know what you're going to get with either of them.
Yeah, it's very much a surprise packet with both of them. So, look, I'm going to go Ravens by field goal.
Yeah, I might even throw a draw out there.
Oh. All right.
First draw of the week.
Jesus, that's a good way to start off. Well, that's it for the NFL. We'll move on to everyone's favourite moment of the week.
Slugs. Horsy.
All right, that's Brett's first time hearing that.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yesterday was Slug's birthday, and he got a winner, Twist of Fury, the horse that he has stakes in, or whatever you call it. I think that's the right way to word it. Got up at I think it was paying $11 by the time it ran. So he was definitely happy with that. But so tomorrow, Friday, he's got a horse hit, race 8, number 8 at Swan Hill, Rain Biel. He hasn't made them easy this week, so I'm probably going to stuff up the pronunciation. The second horse, so the rest of Saturday tips, race 6, number 6 at Kembla. Trivier, I think. I'm struggling.
You're going well with this, Holly.
It doesn't make
He's
it easy.
really well.
They can use the numbers if they need to. And the final one is race 2, number 1 at Flemington, Artorias. There we go. That one's a bit easier.
A little bit.
We'll move on to the AFL. Forget about
big shout out to the Twist of Fury lads, though.
Yeah, I think a fair few of us got up on him. So
yep, absolutely.
We'll move on to the AFL though. Before we get into the game, is anyone surprised? Did anyone think that Joel Selwood or Tom Hawkins should have got a suspension or a fine for each of their acts?
Oh, far out. I don't know. It's so touchy at the minute. Like, yeah, I look at the Selwood one and I'm like, how is that different to Toby?
Yeah.
That's how I first looked at it, and I'm like,
and it's his second incident like that too.
Yeah,
the only difference is Dangerfield was running it faster at him, so it made it look worse. Whereas,
yeah. When I first looked at Tomahawk's one as well, I was like, oh, that's a bit like it just unnecessary. Like totally, just did not need to do it at all. And I think he's lucky if he had got him in the back of the head and it made it a bit worse, he would have easily got at least a week. But I think just sort of getting him on the back of getting him on his back maybe helped him a little bit. But he's pretty lucky. It was just totally unnecessary. It was just stupid. I don't know why he even did it. But I think Selwood's a bit lucky.
He already had
literally
mark, so
just back in front of him, took the mark and
just
threw his elbow out for no reason. It was a bit it was a bit silly, but like if you take those two out of the Geelong team on the weekend, my God, would have just been an absolute bloodbath.
So do you think one of them or both of them should have got a fine or a week or?
I reckon. Sorry, you go, Brad.
I think Selwood's is a fine, but like you said, it's very much a Toby Green, like the Toby Green incident, but it's the Toby tax when he goes to tribunal.
Yeah,
so
100%.
No other player's really going to get what he's going to get. And I think Tom Hawkes probably deserved a fine. You look, Buddy got off with his elbow earlier in the year with a fine. And I know they're not similar incidents, but similar type of players in terms of stature. I think maybe both fines. I don't think a week for either of them.
The Hawkins one looked like it wasn't serious impact. It was just stupid to do it. But
it was just totally unnecessary. He's lucky. Like if he had got him on the back of the head, he could have done some pretty serious damage, because obviously Tomahawk's not the smallest lad in the world.
No.
So, and he was running at a fair click, but he just didn't need to do it. Didn't need to do it. So
I like it. I understand if they both get fines. No one really wants to see anyone miss out in a finals game. Everyone wants to see,
especially not a
playing.
prelim.
Yeah, everyone wants to see the best players playing. So
100%.
But then saying that Toby Green always finds a way to miss out in games. I have here. How good was the Brisbane Dogs game before we move on?
Yeah, that was unreal.
But in saying that,
so good.
I've got also here, is there been too many free kicks called? For the Cats GWS game, there was 41, and the Dogs Brisbane game, there was 47.
It's the unnecessary ones too, like the off the ball where two players are wrestling and one player, like, yes, he gets thrown to the ground, but they overact it, and just the umpires see it and pay straight away because they expect it to, well, someone's done something wrong because he's on the ground, so they pay a free kick. I don't think they see it half the time, and it's I think the sense of the game as well. Like, you look at that Caleb Daniel deliberate, like there was just no sense in the game that he was never looking for the boundary line with what he was doing there.
Well, even Lath's, like that point that he had at the end of the game, like that was borderline a throw across the goal line too. Like it was pretty touch and go. But
have they changed the ruling on it? Because I hear them say insufficient intent instead of deliberate several times.
It's always insufficient intent to keep the ball in play. That's what the rules always been. But I just think it's been drilled in more that it should be the more, because look at all those free kicks they're paying. Like most of the ones that they're paying that everyone's complaining about are the interpretation, the umpire's interpretation of them, like the holding the ball, the deliberate, everyone complains about them. And it's down to interpretation. And I think everyone's complaint is that the interpretation changes week to week with most of these free kicks. And we just want something consistent and solid.
That's the hard thing though, because it's all like it's human. Like and you're talking about interpretation. Each umpire is different, so that's sort of I don't know. I sort of look at it as that's the good part of the game, is that it's all up to, like, it's human error, that sort of stuff. It's I don't know, but
look, I don't
talk about every week.
I don't mind if different umpires have different interpretations, as long as the same umpire pays the same throughout the game. And 100%. I don't think they have been doing that in this final series. And I think in finals too, usually it's the old saying, put the whistle away, let them play. But this year it hasn't. They've just been picking any little thing out, and then you look at them, they're looking to pay a free kick at every scrimmage opportunity. And I think that's because they're trying to stop the ball ups and the contested. They want the game to be more open. So I think there's been.
Yeah, but is that working though? Like if they're calling it that often, like it's more stop start anyway. Like I don't agree with it.
From that, I think there is too. So
there's two instances I want to get your thoughts on from the Brisbane Bulldogs game. Now, I'm not saying it was lopsided or anything. I did want the Lions to win, but two instances. One, I think there was about 5 minutes left. I think Neil or one of the midfielders had the ball on the wing about to kick it into the 50, and the slight throwaway or the blocking, is that a free kick with 5 minutes left?
That's what I was saying. That free kick, both players. I think it was Joe Danaher on Bailey. Was it Bailey Williams? I think it might have been Bailey Williams. I think got thrown to the ground, and if you looked on the camera angle, both players were wrestling. It just happened that one player ended up on the ground, and the umpire paid a free kick because of that. So I don't think that's a free kick. That's the ones I'm talking about. They're looking to pay free kicks, and they, like I was saying, they guess like they've seen someone on the ground and they just pay it. I think so.
It takes the strength away from the player too. Like if they're just out muscled someone, like it's
part of the game. That's a skill.
Literally 100% it is 100%. But it's becoming like AFL is sort of becoming like like soccer, like having the too many officials and everything's getting pulled up. Like it's a totally different game to soccer. Like we just gotta let it go, let them play, and see what happens. It's more exciting watching it like that rather than stop-start, hearing the whistle all the time. And yeah, it's frustrating.
It's becoming a thing of where you got to be not a lot, but you got to be more silky rather than using your body and using your strength to get people out of the way, and which is annoying to watch. But but the last one
hard for the players like Tom Hawkins and all those like stronger players as well. Makes it really hard for them.
And the last point that really bugged me was with the minute left in the ruck in the middle of the ground with a tie ball game, a minute left. I don't think you can be calling a free kick for blocking out in the ruck like that. Like,
no, that was horrible.
Seen
that was a horrible free kick. Although McInerney did take his eyes off the ball and look at English, but you're still not with a minute to go in the game. You can't pay those free kicks. And I think the ruck free kicks too, though, as soon as I see them take their eyes off the ball, they call a free kick now these days. And I think they're still allowed to look where the player is.
And that's the annoying thing. Like, you got one ruckman that's a big body that's not going to jump really high and go for it. And then you got someone else coming across you that's going to try and jump on you and get lift. Surely you should be able to not exactly like cut off their run, but surround, like block them a little bit and tap it down. I mean, that's what I think. But I'm just surprised they called that with a minute left and basically
it's very hard to be able to do all that. Because it's obviously happened to me a few times where you come up against a player like that and you're trying to do both and trying to not let them run and jump because you know they're going to be able to jump over the top of you. But you've got to be able to do that as well as know where they are, keep your eye on the ball, tap it down. Like it's a very hard thing to do. Very hard thing to do.
And it's been focused on a lot more now because they've taken the third man up out a couple of years ago. So, I mean...
100%. The bread roll.
I don't agree with that. But
I'd love to see it back.
I think it should come back. I think that will open up the game a bit too.
100% it would. They want to stop congestion and everything, bring a third man up and let someone just come across and absolutely belt the shit out of it.
That would be good to see. But we'll move on to the games now. Friday night, D's versus Geelong in Perth. Who have you got, Brad?
I think the D's win this. In my eyes, I think if the D's can execute their game plan, winning the ball out of the middle and their fast ball movement through the middle, I think Geelong's too old. I think the D's could win quite easily. I think it could be 40 plus points. It could be a demolition job. Just Geelong's too old. And if I think Geelong are going to have to try something to win this game. I think they're going to have to try move the ball quickly because you look at the way they played in that last quarter, although yes, GWS were coming back. You look at Tom Hawk. Tom Hawk looked unstoppable when the ball was coming in quick, late. And I think Geelong, they should try that to win this game, but they're not going to because they're going to be too scared of May and Lever taking intercept marks. So they're going to go back to their slow chip play, and they're not skillful enough to hold the ball off Melbourne. And Melbourne's defensive running and pressures just going to cause them to cough the ball up as well. So I think if Geelong play, because they can play in spurts, Geelong can have a spurt like they did in that round 23 game where they kicked 9 goals in that second quarter, which almost won them the game. But you look at that game, Melbourne had control of that game outside of that second quarter, pretty much all the game. And it was only that second quarter that kept Geelong in games. So I think Geelong can have a spurt, which keep them close. But outside of that, I think Melbourne win easy.
I was listening to podcast this morning and they were talking about, I think, it was Triple M. It was like Louis Montagna and Duck Wayne Carey talking about this game, and they were thinking about Joel Selwood like tagging, or not tagging, but playing like a run with role on Petrarca or Clayton, which I think like that could be one thing that they try to do, because obviously I don't think Selwood's like an overly damaging sort of player, but I think he's the same sort of player as Clayton that he could go with. But I still think Clayton's going to be too strong. I think he's mate, it's scary the way he's
Brown.
playing over there.
And he's too hard of a player to tag because he can just find the footy at a contest. It doesn't matter if a bloke stands next to him and blocks his way. He's just going to try and will his way to the footy.
Yep. Yeah, and he obviously Sella wouldn't be able to stay with Petrarca when he goes. There's no way when he goes forward. Petrarca's a different animal when he goes forward. So, yeah, I'd agree. 40 plus if everything goes right for Melbourne. But if it doesn't, I still see him winning. But yeah, it would be a little bit closer. But I reckon Melbourne's defense is. I think it's unless Jeremy Cameron pops up and kicks a few goals. I don't think you'll see much of Tom Hawkins because of Lever and May. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. But I'm pretty keen on this other game, to be honest. It's going to be a ripper.
Yeah. Who have you got in this game, though, Ollie?
I think it'll be a lot closer than what people are thinking. I think Melbourne will still win. I was reading something today. I think the last prelim they did play was obviously in Perth against West Coast, and they got absolutely spanked. Obviously, they're a lot different team now. It'll be interesting to see how Geelong do enter the forward line, because they know they've got to avoid Lever and May, but doing it is a completely different thing. And I think what they're running 4 bigs now. Am I wrong? They're running Cameron, Hawkins, Radigalea, and Reece Stanley.
Yeah, so that's why I think they're too slow.
And do you class Big Stars as a big guy too? Like obviously, I don't personally, but he can get around the ground too. Really well anyway.
He sort of plays big, but he's athletic enough to cover another big. Yeah. But I think, like Ollie's saying, going with those 4 tools up forward, and especially the way that Salem and those Melbourne halfbacks can rebound, I don't think they're going to be quick. They're going to be too slow to keep up with them.
And they're going to have a lot of time with the ball because they're not going to be under much pressure from those big blokes. Since we've got 7.5 minutes left, geez, we'll move on to Port Adelaide versus Dogs. We'll go to you again, Brad.
I see this game of the year, heading into it, just on, I reckon, sheer talent. Sides are very evenly matched. It's just an exciting matchup everywhere you look at it. Yep. I haven't seen the teams, so they should be out by now. But if the Bont's fit, they're out. Is the Bont in, Sharpie?
Yeah, he's in.
So the Bont in, and even if he is at 70 or whatever % he's at, he just provides such a boost for that side. I think Port are going to be very hard to stop at home, but this game, it's on a knife edge all game. I think it's going to come down to who's better and who's more willing in that last 10 to 5 minutes to win the game, like the Brisbane Bulldogs game. Who was out?
Keith's out, and they brought Steph Martin in.
What?
That's big. Keith's had an awesome. Keith's had an awesome final series. That brings Charlie into the game. That makes me lean more towards Port. But still think it's going to be.
Waitman's out, sorry. Is that right?
Yeah, Waitman's out.
Yeah, Waitman's out. Yeah.
Concussion. Yeah.
And with Waitman, those outs, I think that leans towards Port, but I think the Dogs have got enough grit to grind it out right to the line. But I think Port are going to be hard to stop at home.
Yeah. And Georgiades isn't in. Their team goes in unchanged.
I was about to say, I was seeing something today. Port have nearly a full
and Michael Hibben's back from Melbourne too.
So except for
the pig,
except for Georgiades, Port nearly have everyone to select from, don't they?
Yeah.
So I mean,
pretty much
they've been blessed with luck, but I think on their home deck they're going to be too good. I can't remember, to be honest, when the last time Bulldogs played at Adelaide Oval, so I don't know if they travel there well or not. But
I think they beat them there earlier this year, if I remember correctly.
And then Zach Guthrie's been named to replace Brandon Parfitt as well.
Ooh. So no Quinton Narkle.
I think Parfitt, going back to the other game, I think Parfitt really hurts Geelong out too, because he's in that midfield. They got all inside players, and he's really that only sort of skill outside sort of player.
Yeah, outside, yep. Definitely. But that's going to be... I agree with you, Brad. I think now that Keith's out, Big Charlie could kick 4+ easily.
who's going to play on
Easily.
him?
They nearly have to put
Big
Shacky on him. Yeah,
it's going to have
they
to
nearly
be.
have to. Yeah.
Well, I think that bringing Steph Martin back in, that frees up Shacky to go down back though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think there'll be a pretty big emphasis on their ruckmans trying to get back in the hole in front of him too.
Yeah.
You'd like to hope anyway.
He was actually I don't really like the Dogs, but Keith was one of my favourite players for him. He was just dominating every forward he played on.
Shep boy too.
Nothing special.
Yeah, he's from Shep. Yep.
Well, there you go.
Nothing special, but does his job. Does it really well too.
So what we're saying is we're not going to see two Mooroopna players playing against each other in the grand final.
Oh, I think the Dogs can do it.
They can.
It'd be great. It'd be great if it'd be pretty awesome for Lath and Clayton to play against each other in a grand final, but Port are going to be hard to stop.
Yeah. With the outs and that, I find it hard to. Yeah, if the Doggies didn't have those players out, it'd be a lot closer, like you were saying earlier, Brad. But how good would it be though to have Clayton and Lath playing against each other in a grand final? That'd be unreal. Would be so good. But yeah, I think
loser gets kicked off the pro clubs team.
What are your opinions on this? Sharpie being a Dogs fan.
Yeah, I got Doggies to win. So
even with Keith out.
Yeah, no, we're too good anyway.
Believe in the Doggies.
Flag dogs. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we're running out of time. Thanks, Brad, for joining us.
No worries.
It was a bit touch and go with some situations going on, but
he's a busy man.
Yeah, I'll fix up some of the stuff that's happened. Thank you, Lachie, for being a guest again.
Pleasure, my friend.
Maybe you can become a bit more of a regular.
Yep. Yeah, and, more regular than Sharpie. Anyway, I've got more input than that, man.
And I was about to say, Sharpie, hopefully we can see you next week. File a missing man's report this week. So
yeah, sorry, I was too busy enjoying myself. A KFC double now available.
Did you actually have a double for dinner?
No, but I think Lee's going to be upset if I don't plug it twice.
Well, if KFC don't come calling, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh man! Shout
Sponsor
out to
KFC.
He's probably having his fifth double right now.
All right. Thanks.
We'll get on to him very soon.
Thanks for everyone for coming. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.